name's Jason Hewlett. Not sure if we've met. Maybe we're friends. Maybe we're connected somehow. I'd love to know if we are connected and how. I'm a corporate and keynote speaker, and doing less and less of the corporate these days, getting more and more busy with other types of events, and it's been interesting to have those happen in my world. But just wanted to hop on here for the first time in a long time. I have not done a live stream in, I think, years. And I think I got a little sick of it because during 2020 and 21, I was doing a lot of this. So I just thought it'd be a good time to jump back on and say hi. And so here we are. Now, my thought is maybe this will record and I can play it somewhere else later. But I wanted to give a few thoughts today about a couple of things that have transpired in the last couple of weeks for me, and just wanted to see what friends are out there and needing some kind of either inspiration or some laughs or some thoughts with me. And this has been an interesting couple of weeks. I watched a really fascinating event yesterday, which was probably the best put together event I've ever seen online. And it was the Charlie Kirk Memorial. And it was powerful. It was unbelievable. Really. I sat there from 8 a.m. thinking it would start early because I just heard that it was doors open at 8. So I didn't know exactly what time everything was starting. And then it was like a Christian revival. It was like a call to Jesus and repentance. And I thought it was wonderful. It was a great way to spend my Sabbath day, and hope that if you watched it, it was powerful for you as well. And I know that the more that I've shared about this on social media, the more that I'm having an interesting experience. In fact, over the last couple of weeks, I have found that I'm gaining followers on a couple of platforms, including LinkedIn and YouTube and X. And I've lost followers on Instagram, and I can't even tell about Facebook. So I find that to be interesting. But I'm gaining followers on TikTok as well. So that's cool. And I'm just excited about the idea that I can talk to more people in this type of setting. And like I say, it's been too long since I've done something like this. So here we are. So here's my thought today. I was really inspired by what I heard and saw on the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I'd love to know what you think. Was it something you watched? It seemed like every single program in the world was broadcasting it. So that was interesting. And I know that there were people that our family interacted with that were upset that we want to watch it. And I find that too bad because that's a memorial for somebody. And, a lot of our leaders were there and participating. So that's interesting. That's a little discouraging, obviously. But what were your thoughts? What did you think? I know I sat there and listened to what somebody did in 31 years of life. It made me question if I have accomplished anything at all. I know that's not the intention, right? It's hard to not compare ourselves to somebody, but man, this guy did a lot of good, a lot of moving and shaking, and made a lot of people think different. I know that it actually helped me think a bit more about my own personal spirituality. Like if I'm really all in or not. I mean, I go to church every week and I read my scriptures. Got my Bible here. In fact, this is a really cool Bible I got from a friend of mine. His name is Alan Roberts, and Alan gave this to me because it's the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. So it actually has all these cool leadership principles in there. Maybe I'll share some thoughts there. But, it actually made me think about that I've done some things. I've written books, performed on stages, done some cool things in life, and yet started a movement? No. Really had that much impact? No. And I don't think that was the point. I think it was more like, what are you doing each day to make a difference and to keep the promise? I like to talk about that stuff. If you've ever followed me, you know that I talk about promises are greater than goals. And I like to say, why set a goal and you can make a promise? Some people don't like that phrase, and I'm okay with that. And it might be semantics to some, but I like to say that, if you set a goal and you miss it, you just set another one. Whereas if you make a promise and break it, that's a one and done. So what are your promises versus your goals? Goals are particulars, where promises are proclamations. So let's say I have a goal that I'm going to go to the gym every single day, no matter what. That's my goal. Now, what happens if I travel or if the day is too busy and there's literally no way I can go to the gym? Well, luckily I make a promise, and that's my health proclamation, if you will. So I promise that I'm going to be healthy in every situation. Now that's possible. I can reach that every day. I can just choose better food. I can jump down, do some push-ups. I can go for a walk. I may not get the gym, which is a goal, but I will be healthy because that's a promise. So that's the distinction. That's the difference. And I was thinking about my promises yesterday as I watched those great speakers and as I watched people that knew Charlie really well. And I was blown away by some of the things I heard about him in terms of the fact that he would wake up in the morning and send a text to random people, his friends all around, a Bible verse to get them started with the day. That's not something I do. Whether it's opening the Bible and reading right away, or if I'm just consumed immediately by emails and texts and social media and all this stuff, those are good things in mediation, but also they can be quite hampering on your life and your enjoyment. So I was thinking about, what are my promises to myself and to God and to my family? What are my promises to you as an audience, to somebody watching this? Are you watching this going, I hope he'll be funny. I hope he does that thing with his face because that's what he's known for. And yeah, that's what I do, right? I go around, make people smile, and I love doing that when I get the opportunity. But also, like, what is the promise that the audience expects, And like I said, I just logged on the other day when I posted something about free speech. And it's interesting to see what's happened. I've watched my following on Instagram fall dramatically, and I find that very insightful. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to lose people that follow you, or it's a bummer if they're actual friends, right? But that's just what it's going to be. And I think that also maybe I haven't said enough controversial things or things that make people think enough to actually say, oh, I really want to follow him, or I don't. And so my promise is that I made yesterday while I was watching this memorial, and this last week while I watched my following rise in some places and fall dramatically in other places, I was like, oh, I guess this is important to people. And I guess that they have a side or an opinion or a place that they land. And for me, the place I land is family. It's faith. It's the founding fathers' principles of this great country. It's that I want to be an entertaining guy, but I also want people to think, like some people are like, why are you talking about those things that I don't want to hear you talk about? Just be funny. It's like, when their basketball player says something and they're like, just dribble. I get that too, right? But I have been in the thick of it, folks. I have been in the thick, and I did not know I was getting into it. Oh, actually, it looks like I have somebody here that joined me, Josh. Hi, Josh. Good to see you. Hey, Jason, he says. Thanks for joining me here. And yeah, Josh, I'm curious, since I can see your comment here, it just popped up. What did you think of yesterday? Did you watch the memorial? Did you like it? Did it change you? Did it help you? Did it make you think? Did it disturb you? Did it make you want to turn it off because there was just too much? Was it inspiring? Here's what I thought. I watched it and wanted to become a better person. I wanted to become what Charlie talked about, which I found very interesting. Courageous in his faith. That's what he wanted to be known for. And holy smokes, did they do him right in that event that they threw together last second. That is a last second throw together event that one of the greatest event companies in the world, Turning Point USA, which they do events and they're amazing at it. But let me tell you, I've never seen quite anything like this outside of maybe the Super Bowl in terms of vastness, camera angles, production. Like, how do you put that together in a week and a half while you're going through absolute tragedy? Yeah. Josh says it like this. I'm going to show this if I can. I'm still learning how to use this. I'm sorry. This is Mary. Mary said, thanks, Mary, for commenting. I popped yours up. I'm going to talk about Josh in a sec. Mary said, it made me think about my daily walk with Christ, and I've been slacking. That's exactly how I felt, Mary. It was inspired by the many speakers. Dr. Ben Carson is brilliant. Yeah, I was thrilled to see that Ben Carson actually even quoted Cleon Skousen, which is a member of my church, and he is a historian and a wonderful Canadian who had such great works that I have heard very few people reference him, and he is a genius and brilliant and a Christ-like person. So it was wonderful. Thanks, Mary. That's very nice. I agree. I was thinking about my own daily walk with Christ, and that's why I'm doing this live stream. To be candid, this is part of the promise for me. How can I promise to be more like the Savior that I profess that I follow and that I believe in, that I talk about everywhere I go? I mean, I literally, in every corporate event or any event you've ever seen, I talk about God. I reference my gifts. I talk about it in a funny way. I say things like, hey, thank you for my gifts, and I do my stupid faces that some of you might know me for. And that's how I share it. But I also believe that we have a light to shine. And I like to say that my mom told me that I have a light to shine, so I need to shine it. And as a kid, I found out that I could hide it under a bushel or I could put it on a hill. And so, Mary, thanks for those thoughts. That was good. Josh, this is one I meant to show earlier. Josh said, it was amazing to me to see so many Christians talking and preaching of Christ. I agree. That's what blew me away the most about that entire event, was how it was not it was no holds barred. They did not hold back. It's about dang time. I'm so grateful that I got to watch something like that on public television, on the internet, across the world. It was everywhere, and people were preaching about Christ. I want to tell you my testimony about Christ. I love him. He's my Savior. I'm so thankful for him, and I hope that anybody who's watching will embrace him into your life, because he is the way, the path, the only truth, and I'm so thankful for that. I hope that I hear more of that from people. I think we are. It's pretty cool. And to anybody who doesn't like that or doesn't believe it, I'm okay with that. I hope that you stand firm in what you believe and that you'll share it too. And I also hope that you won't try to be upset that I shared that. I hope that we can just get to a point where we're all sharing what we have, what we've got. I mean, I've been talking about this now for 25 years. Share your gifts. Share your talents. Don't be ashamed. Be courageous in what you've got. And keep the promise to yourself, to God, to your family. I hope that you'll know that I'm going to be doing more of that and this. Josh also said, I have family members attend, and they said it was so powerful to be there. Yeah, Josh, I almost went. I was thinking about it, and I decided not to go due to the fact that we have such a busy couple of weeks all around us. My son is headed out on his mission to Argentina to go preach Christ. He leaves tomorrow. This is a big time for our family. It's a sensitive time. I am emotional. I'll be honest. I'm extremely emotional. I don't know if I remember the emotion being so strong in me. And I also feel that you could couple that with the spirit and intellectually, emotionally, with the way that people have responded to all of this. It's moved me and it's disturbed me. And spiritually, I feel more responsibility and more of a connection of what I need to do moving forward. I hope that's what you felt as well if you watched that. Bart Merrill, my man. Bart says, I loved it. Very inspirational. I need to do better. Yeah, buddy, I'm with you, right? Like, I need to do better, I think, is maybe the overarching theme I got from it. And I don't think that that's a negative thing. I think that it's important to be able to say to ourselves, how can I be the best version of myself? Christ will make up for what I lack. Absolutely. And equally, how can I do life better? I've had some people, and thanks, Bart, for sharing and weighing in, and everybody that has, Josh and Mary, that's awesome. I appreciate you guys. I don't know if I can't really see what's going on over at Instagram, but maybe this is on. I hope it's working. Or YouTube or X or LinkedIn. Hey, I love those places. And the reason I love them is because they're good. There's good that I can find there. And so often I see things that I don't like there and I just scroll past them. I don't put up a fight. I don't message the person and say, hey, you're thinking wrong. You're an idiot. I need you to think different, just like me. No, I just scroll past. And maybe I should put up more of a fight, but I'm going to put up a fight in this sense. I'm going to share more about my family, which I've always done in my presentations. I'm going to share about my love for my wife and my children. I've done that a lot, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to share more about my faith, which I have done, but I'm going to do more of it. These are all promises I'm making to you and to myself, really, just by saying them out loud. But also, I mean, I sat there watching it and thinking, am I studying the right things? You know, am I consuming the right media? Am I reading history enough? Do I know all that I can about the founding fathers and the Constitution? I mean, to see the knowledge that this guy accumulated and was able to obviously retrieve in a moment of debate, which is just incredible. He was a savant. He was a one of one. There's a category of one. That's what he is. No one will replace him. We know that, but he has started a movement, and this company and this mission will go forth. And that says a lot about a leader. If a leader does well while they're around, that's a big deal. But if a leader does better after they're gone, oh my gosh, right? They started something significant. Me as a live events guy, I know that I move people in a way that they laugh, or the music, you know, sing us a song at the piano, man. Like, those are awesome memories that they'll have, but that's not starting a movement. So, you know, that's not necessarily my intention either here, but my thought was, wow, how did he create that? You know, the main quote yesterday that really, really got me was that a couple of people said that it was by Soren Kierkegaard. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. Wow. I have heard that before, but I've never seen what that looks like in real time. And I think we saw, or we're seeing, kind of some of what that looks like. Some people don't like the word martyr for this case. It's absolutely the right word. He was a good man. He was a great man, better man than I'll ever be. I'm going to try to be better, but it's because he gave his life to Christ and he was a missionary at all times that he was so great. And he worked to prove that he was a disciple of Christ. I hope that when people see me, they'll think of that in that way as well. Like, he's a disciple of Christ. I don't know if I'm there yet, right? So I'm working on it, and hopefully I'll get there. But it did make me want to be better. It did make me want to work harder, be smarter, make bigger decisions, be wise, celebrate my family and my wife especially. Whoa. Did you see how his wife talked about how he celebrated her? Did you see how she talked about him? Oh my gosh. Yes, please. That's what I want. And I have a version of that in the sense of my wife is extremely kind and generous to me. I'm quite a fan of her. In my passing someday, whenever that's going to be, would somebody say what was said about me in that way? I don't know. I can't fathom, right? But can I make a promise today to be different and better? Yes, that's what I'm doing. And can you make a promise to just be a little bit better tomorrow? Maybe that just means being a little bit kinder. And like I say, as you scroll through social media and we see all the fights that are being picked and the viewers and followers that are dropping in my world, in some cases, in other places where it's rising really quickly, I find myself thinking, okay, I think Jordan Peterson said it best. In order to think, you have to risk being offensive. Dang it. Yeah, I've spent my whole career being vanilla. Being the guy everybody could have at every event. Recently, I did an event where it was a couple days after Charlie had been assassinated, just a few miles down the road from where the event was. These were people gathering from all over the country to come to Utah. I could hear in the hallways as they walked around, they were like, is this a safe place? I've never been to Utah. I don't know if it's a safe place. I'm thinking, what on earth, Utah? is a safe place. What are we talking about here? Okay, I better say something. So I threw in some of my slides about Charlie Kirk, and he was I considered him a friend. I mean, we weren't best friends. Like, I knew him. He was nice to me. He was encouraging. He talked about other things. We had some plans. We were going to do some stuff. I wanted to just mention that Utah is a safe place where we live. And the event planners saw my slides, and whoa, buddy, I got in some big trouble backstage. For 2 hours before the event, I'd gotten there early to set up and do a sound check. And the next thing I knew, I'm being accosted by executives. I get that it's their event. They can censor me all they want. That was fine. I mean, it was awful. It was embarrassing and humiliating. And I worked really hard on creating something real specific for their people. In fact, I was going to talk about the tour that I did last year that became kind of more of a political thing that I realized I was getting myself into. But I'll tell you, they didn't want to see that or hear about that, even though that's why the leaders brought me in. The leaders backstage said no. So, yeah, I mean, hey, being censored is interesting, but can we be more loving? Can we be kinder? If we see somebody post something on social, or if we see or hear somebody say something, yeah, I get it. It's like, hey, see something, say something. Okay. If it's absolutely wrong, okay, well, reach out to me. Slandering and throwing someone under the bus, telling them they're an idiot, calling them a name, those are weird levels of debauchery we've reached. Can we rise up? Can we be Christ-like? That's why I called this Hello Friends for today. It was just to be like, hi, friends. Are you still there? Do you know that it's not such a bad world we live in? And if you want to make it bad, then, just maybe stop talking, stop listening. I do make a living as a speaker, but I make a life as a listener. I say that all the time. And making a living as a speaker is a beautiful thing. It's amazing. I mean, I get the craziest opportunities that any human could ever hope for. And equally, because I've listened so much through my life to what people need and are concerned about, and life is difficult and what is to be celebrated. Well, then the other question is that how can I go out and listen enough to be able to say something that's worth listening to? And I see some more people being kind here. What is this? Mecca Films. Oh, what's up? Good to see you. God bless America. Yes, sir. What did you say? It's your calling to run for politics. Oh, dude. You have the talent. That's very nice. I can say this about that. I do not know enough about any of it to be able to know how to do politics. My brother-in-law is in politics, and he has a very difficult situation on his hands because he stands up for a lot of tough stuff. I can tell you that most people I know that are in politics are not the greatest people. They're in it for the wrong reason. It's a bummer. The greatest people I know don't run for politics because they're worried about their safety and their family and, having a nice life. But there are some like my brother-in-law. He's the good guy. I hope he runs for governor of our state someday. I hope he's a state senator. He could be the president of the country. I also believe that, but Mecca Films, I'm not going to disparage what you said. I appreciate that you think that I could do politics. That's crazy. I appreciate that that's even a thought that you would think and that you would voice that. That's kind. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that say, do not do it. And others that would be like, yes, you should, so I can destroy you. I guess I'll have to look into what being in politics would look like. And that would be fascinating. You know who would be good at it? It's my wife. My wife would be the greatest president that we've ever seen. She's just that wise, smart, cares about everybody, articulate. She's just that kind of person. And as we watched the memorial yesterday, my wife was actually helping her mom clean out her basement while they were watching at the same time. I was watching it alone on the couch in my robe. Yeah, there you go. Sorry for that visual. It's just me in my robe taking notes. But as the beautiful, stately, powerful wife and widow of Charlie Kirk came to the stage, Erica Kirk, who is now the CEO of Turning Point USA, which is just such a wonderful thing that that's happening. It was amazing to watch somebody who I also said, oh, yeah, she could run for office and she would be great. And I believe that 100%. We also saw another powerful woman on the stage earlier, Tulsi Gabbard. She is a powerhouse. These are people I would vote for. These are people I support. Let me tell you about Erica, though. Did you see what she did? She stood up in front of us, told us of her love for her husband, and then she said something I have always prayed and wondered what it would be like if you did have somebody that was murdered in your life. Would you be able to do it? I've seen like court proceedings with families where they get to talk to the murderer who they catch and they're putting into prison. And the people are throwing, like, I hate you. I hope you die. I hope you suffer, all this stuff, which I get it. I justify that all day, right? But then I'll see once in a while a person who will stand up there and say, Christ told me to forgive my enemies and I forgive you. And I'm just like, okay, that's amazing. We saw that yesterday. This just came through on YouTube. I don't know how you say your name. Usalefa. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. When she forgave, I lost it. Crying emoji. Absolutely. That's where I wanted to go today with you. And thank you for sharing that, Usalefa. And I apologize if I'm not saying that right, or if that's something I'm not quite sure what it is, but if that's your name, God bless you. And if it's your business name or something, thank you for being here. Hello and God bless you to you. Charlie Kirk's widow, on the 11th day after his murder and assassination, stood in front of all of us, in front of the whole world. It's estimated 100 million people were watching. There were 65,000 people in front of her. Let me tell you, that's a monster stage. And she stood up and she quoted the Savior, Jesus Christ, who on the cross said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And then she said, that young man, I forgive him. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely one of the most powerful things maybe that I've ever seen in real time. After having seen just less than 2 weeks prior, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, in the murder of this young man, Charlie Kirk. Now she's referring to the person, the younger man, who murdered him, that she forgave him. I can't tell you how much I could feel the pain for her to say that, the redemption and the grace. Whoa, my goodness. It moved me in many ways. And so to those that are not fans of what I do, to those that are not supporting what I do anymore, I love you. I forgive you for not liking where I'm headed or what I've done. And I'm grateful for the opportunity I've known to be in your world. And if I lose followers because of it, then goodbye. And I wish you the best. And as I send out newsletters and as I do shows around the world, and as my opportunities become less and less in the corporate sense, which I understand that's probably going to be a thing, especially as I put myself out there more and more, I'm okay with that. I would like the gig because I like to be in front of people. I like to inspire and entertain and make people laugh, but I like to make money. That's nice. Making a living is a cool thing. It's a unique thing. I haven't really been that grateful for it in the last 25 years. I mean, it came and it's happened and I'm thankful, but I haven't been as grateful for a corporate gig or a performance opportunity as I have been this year. Because in 2024, after being a part of the Tucker Carlson tour, where I met Charlie Kirk, where he was so kind to me after I opened for Trump, where I then said Trump was somebody I supported, and then the world lost their collective mind. Well, I can tell you this. I lost a lot of work. It is what it is. And then I think about Charlie's favorite Bible scripture. Here it is. Here's For those of you that don't know it, this is a Bible. This is a big, gigantic book of great writings. I need to read it more. But I'm going to read it today right in front of you, and I'm going to read one of Charlie's favorites. You ready? Romans 8. Paul. If I recall, I think Paul wrote most of this. Yeah. Paul 8:28. If you want to turn there with me, 828 page on here. It's page 1363. Wow. 1,300 pages, but that's because it's the John Maxwell Leadership Bible with all these cool quotes in here. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. Oh my goodness. One more time, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. And so I've lost all this work, and I'm continuing to wonder, what am I supposed to do next? And I think I know. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God. I love God. So this is all coming together to work for my good. To those who are the called according to his purpose. What is his purpose? I believe that his purpose is for us to have immortality and eternal life and to return to him. I believe that's it. I think that's God's greatest mission and the reason that we're here. We all came to this earth to be able to return back to him. We just have to do some things as best as we can. Where we lack, Jesus Christ makes up for it. That's the whole message. I just wanted to say hello today, friends, and hope that you will, like me, make a new goal and try to read the scriptures more each day. And maybe make a new goal to not pick up your phone the first second of the day, but maybe make a promise to just be a little more spiritual. Maybe that's the promise, because the goals will add up to be the particulars that help us live the proclamation that is our promise. My promise is that I promise to proclaim his name, to not be ashamed, to not stand down, to stand for truth and to search for it. And I set a goal every day that I'm going to do more of these, but my promise is that I will not stand down. I wear the armor of God. I invite you to join me. Doesn't mean to join my church. I mean, hey, if you want to come, that's great, but embrace Christ. Embrace the great teachings. Embrace what's truth. And when you see that somebody's spouting something crazy, if you want to engage, go ahead, but are you spreading joy? Are you spreading truth? Or are you just making it worse? I hope that you'll join me in making the world a better place. And I promise you that as you work towards that, this is the promise that will happen. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. I believe you're called to his purpose. It's up to you, though, if you want to accept it. I've had a lot of different callings in my life. I've been called to lead men, to be a missionary. I was a missionary in Brazil. My son's on the plane to Argentina. Wow, it's crazy. I'm so proud of him. I've been called husband, father. These are the greatest callings, no doubt. And I've been called to be on big stages, to have great opportunities, to do things that most people never have even the hope to get to do. I hope those continue. And I also can say that I believe you've been called to. Do you embrace that call? Or do you just think, nah, I don't want to lose any followers and friends. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I know how that feels. I've also been called to do something that I never thought I'd see it happen in my life either. I have worked really hard to lose a lot of weight. I've worked really hard to get back on my feet after breaking my leg in a violent way a few years ago. And if anything, I now have a way to sustain my health and to sustain my life This sign behind me, Cardio Miracle, my dad founded that company. It's a health supplement company. You ought to look into it. If you're feeling pain in your heart, I believe that this can help you. It's a spiritual product as well as a supplement that's for health. But it's helped me to be able to recover quicker from my workouts. It's helped me with climbing mountains to getting to the top, accomplishing my goals. What are your goals? Hey, I keep the promise that I want to be healthy, so I go out on a walk every day and I drink this stuff, Cardio Miracle, every day. Go check out cardiomiracle.com. If there's anybody that sponsors something like this, it would be them, because at this point I got to work with my dad and my brother and a lot of great people, and we put together this great product. So I hope that you'll check it out. It's changed my life, and we sponsor all kinds of important events, and we also have helped 1 million lives already to get off their blood pressure medication. I mean, if you don't know what's going on with the health scare and crisis here in America, it is time to truly wake up to that. I hope that you'll check it out and I hope that you'll jump aboard with it. Hey, it looks like Mecca Films is still here with me. They said, best drink ever. Nitric oxide is what my body needed this whole time. All right on. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what Mecca Films means. When you drink Cardio Miracle, it creates nitric oxide, which is a miracle molecule in your body. It relaxes the blood vessels to allow for greater blood flow. If you work out, you know that before a workout, you take a pre-workout. It's probably filled with caffeine, probably something to pump you up. That's awesome. But what if you did it without the caffeine? What if you did it in a natural flow state with the bioavailable delivery that only Cardio Miracle can, to flood your arteries with all the goodness and nutrients that you need through arginine and citrulline? Those are the amino acids you need. And when they combine with what Cardio Miracle delivers, nitric oxide will change the way you do a workout, the way you climb a mountain, the way you sprint, the way you ride your bike, do Orange Theory. Whatever you do for your workout, it's going to be the best you've ever seen. And then you can take it when you're done as well. It will help to repair those muscles you've torn and that you've worked so hard to build. It's just a fascinating thing. That's just for the workout person. Now think about the person who has not cared about their health. Think about your parents. Think about your family that's got surgery on their hips and their knees and their body and they're falling apart. You need blood flow to those areas or else you're not going to recover. I'm so sad for the people that I know that have refused to even try this product. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee. We have a less than 1% that have ever sent it back because they cannot deny the value and the benefits. Thanks, Mecca Films. That's very cool. It is a great drink. I just hope that you all know that I appreciate you watching, and on a vast level, thank you to the many that have joined. It looks like I have some eyeballs here today, but on a personal level, I hope you know that I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I hope that you'll make and create new promises. I hope that after what we saw this last 2 weeks, that it is up to you to make this world a better place. It's your promise. So why not go out there and make the world a better place? And remember, you have talents I don't have. I have talents you don't want. So share your gift as only you can. You're the only one that can do what you do. I'm the only one that can do this. Well, maybe somebody can, but they don't ever share it. I'm like, why don't you share your gift, man? People hide it way too much. God will make it so that what you're working towards will happen, and it will be for the good. God bless you. Thanks for joining me here.